Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Crotoni Entertainment. My name is Chris, and if it's Monday, it's Morphin time. So we're going to go into another episode of Morphin Monday today. We're painting some Power Rangers Zeo. We made it through Zeo Rangers 1, 2, and 3, so we're almost through the process. I apologize for any weird sounds in the background while we get together and we paint Zeo Ranger 4 green. There's a bit of a storm going on in the background, and my dogs are getting a little crazy, so they're moving around a lot right now. And I apologize because you probably hear them in the background. But let's get started on Zeo Ranger 4, shall we? So Zeo Ranger 4 is one of our last Zeo Rangers we need to do. We still need to complete this one, and we need to complete Zeo Ranger 5. So like we normally do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean this model. You're going to see in future videos with things like foot soldiers and whatnot, I stopped being interested in cleaning the models because honestly, as I've mentioned a couple times, these are not tournament pieces. I'm not putting them in for a Best Painted award. There's not a competition I'm involved in. But for the Power Ranger heroes, I want to go ahead and get them clean to take away some of those distracting mold lines. I like most of the Power Rangers. Zeo Ranger 4 has a distracting mold line on his helmet, hits him down his legs, on his arms. We're going to go ahead and get rid of those. We're going to go ahead and take this model. We're going to move him into the priming stage with our Rustoleum 2X Perfect Gray Flat Primer. And you'll notice that we have a couple of spots that didn't completely cover. Again, if this was a model I was submitting for competition, I would be worried about this, but I'm actually going to go ahead and ignore that for now. I'm going to bust out my Citadel Caliban green. I'm just going to end up painting right over it. There's so little area that didn't get covered, and this is a base style paint, so it's very heavily pigmented, so it's not going to make a big deal. So we're going to start by slathering on our Caliban green all over the main part of Zeo Ranger 4's jumpsuit. The other colors, as we go forward, are going to be the same as some of the other colors we saw in the other Zeo Ranger series videos. This Caliban green is obviously a new color we're working with. It creates an extremely dark green. There's almost a hint of black in it. And what we're going to do to put this on the model is I dip this paintbrush in a cup of clean water, and then I dip it directly into the Caliban green just to thin it up a little bit, let it flow a little bit better. Part of making it flow a little bit better means you're not going to get as thick a coat. You can see on the left leg there that we see a little bit of the perfect gray coming through. We're not worried about that at this time. Right now we just want to get the model painted with the green. We can add another coat layer if we need to. What we can't do is if we put the paint on too thick and start obscuring the details, we can't take any of that green back off, not without stripping the entire model. So we're going to err on the side of caution. We're going to do a little bit of thin paint. It's going to be a little see-through. That's okay. We're not worried about it. So as we continue forward on this, we're kind of thinking about our Zeo Ranger project as a whole, realizing we're getting done with almost the whole team, and kind of want to talk a little bit about why we paint these models in the first place. The models have a tremendous amount of detail on them. They're a good, comfortable size. I don't know the actual scale, but if I had to guess, I would say these are close to 54mm scale miniatures. So they're rather large on the tabletop, and with all that great detail, and with the Power Rangers being as colorful as a franchise as they are, why wouldn't we want to get paint on these models and just kind of create a little immersion in the game? I know my 6-year-old loves it, and I know we have a group of adults that get together every couple of weeks and play this game as well. They've been a big fan of the painted Rangers so far as well. It just looks really good on the table, creates a little immersion, and it's fun to do. It's a very cathartic experience painting miniatures. I spend a lot of time painting a lot of different miniatures, and it really just, it's a great way to relax after a full day at work and dealing with the kids and dealing with crazy dogs during a thunderstorm and all that. So as we wrap up with our Caliban green, we're going to end up putting this Ranger aside for a while because it is going to take a little bit to dry. But when it does dry, you can see that blackness in the Caliban green really comes through. It's a very, very dark undercoat. So we're going to need to obviously highlight this up. So we're going to pull out our highlight color on Zeo Ranger 4, and that's going to be our Citadel Layer Warpstone Glow. This particular pigment, I've always had a very difficult time getting a smooth layer of it, especially when I thin it down with water. So a lot of times you're going to have to do 2, 3, possibly even 4 coats of this. So as we can see, I went ahead and did our first coat here. And I left the deepest areas, so the definition, the abs, kind of where the elbows meet, where the shoulders meet, that seam on the back. I left the darkest color in there, but you can see there's still a lot of unevenness. So we go ahead and put a second coat on after that's fully dry. You can see with a second coat of the Warpstone green, it looks a lot better, looks a lot cleaner, looks a lot more opaque, and it leads us straight into our Citadel-based Retributor armor to paint all the gold areas on this Ranger. You may have noticed a trend throughout all of these videos. What I like to do is do kind of the biggest areas and kind of work my way inward. So the areas that touch the green are the gold, so I like to do the gold next. And we're going to go ahead and jump while that's fully drying, we're going to jump into our Leadbelcher. We're going to jump into our Mephiston Red, and these are going to be for painting our Zeo blasters and our power pod swords. And we're going to tip the power pod sword with Citadel base to the Fang. It gives that little hint of kind of a bluish gray that you actually see in the show and on the still photos of the Rangers in costume. You may have also noticed that on this left leg I had missed some of the gold in the last shot. We went ahead and got that covered. You can see we got the silver on there, we got the red on there. And now those areas are basically done, but we're going to wash them down with our Citadel Shade Nuln Oil. We're also going to wash over our gold areas with this as well. It's going to run into the recesses. It's going to give us definition. And you can see that it's already popping in the chest piece, popping on the belt there. All those little details, we don't really have to pick them out in the same way because the wash did it for us. We're going to use our Liberator Gold next. The Liberator Gold is a lighter shade of gold. It's a little brighter. We're going to put that on over all these areas. So we're going to leave a little Retributor gold showing. We're going to leave that wash in the deepest recesses, but we're going to pick out the high points with our Liberator gold. It just makes everything just a little bit brighter, makes that gold pop a little more. And now we're going to move into the white areas. So it's going to be the gloves, it's going to be the boots, it's going to be that chest area with our Citadel Gray Seer. This is going to provide a nice clean base for our white to go over. Our white is going to be the Vallejo Game Color Dead White. And we're going to put this over that. We're going to leave the gray in the deepest recesses to kind of artificially create definition and artificially kind of create a visual line of where the gloves, the fingers in the gloves are and the seams on the boots. And it's going to really make everything pop when we get the white color on there. So we jump in and we get the white color on there, and you'll see it looks pretty clean around the gloves and the boots. It is pretty sloppy around the visor. We're actually not worried about that because, again, we're building inward. And the next color on the visor is going to be the black for the visor. We're also going to do this on the top of the base. So we want to paint that base to help the miniature pop a little as well. We're going to pull back and we're going to grab our Warpstone Glow again. You'll notice on all of the Rangers I've rimmed the bases with the color that we do. So we're going to go ahead and apply our black paint to this now, and our green to the base, and that's pretty much going to lead us to a complete Zeo Ranger 4. So just a really quick video to show you the basic colors I use for Zeo Ranger 4. We've got one more Ranger to go in the core, and then we've got Zeo Gold Ranger coming up down the road. Then we're probably going to get into some putties and some monsters for a while. But thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if this video helped. We'll be back next Monday with more Power Rangers videos, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching.